on, let's go ahead and do this. All right, welcome. Who would like to know how to blueprint your online lifestyle brand so that it hits 5, 6, and even multiple 7 figures? Can we give it up? Let me know one in the chat if you guys are ready for challenge day 1. All right, are you ready? Well, if we haven't officially met, my name is Ann McDonald, and I'm going to share the gallery view for just a second. If you are in my VIP crew, could you go ahead and turn your cameras on just for a second? And we're going to go ahead and share the gallery view, and we're going to say hello. Say hello to Kim, to Melissa, Caleb, Iris, Lisa, Jill, Pam, Marilyn. If you guys are not in the VIP crew, you need to actually be in. We'll drop the link for you in the chat in YouTube. So, all right, I'm going to go back onto the main camera and we're going to dive into day 1. Just write 7-figure brand in the chat. 7-figure brand in the chat. So if we haven't met before, my name is Ann McDonald. And over the past 2 decades, I have built no fewer than 14, by some estimations, 17, depending on how you actually break down a niche, online lifestyle brands. Some that are 5-figure brands. Would you like a 6-figure brand? And some that are multi-7, I'm like 5, 6, 7, multi-7 figures in various niches. So you are in the right place if you would like to learn how we actually blueprint these online brands. So give me a drop your niche in the chat, right? Maybe like you have a skill set. Let me say that again. Maybe like I am, you have a skill set. Maybe you're an interior designer, you're a podcast producer like Caleb Nelson, maybe like Melissa and Dave, you have a skill set to work with people. They actually have something called the Power Couple Hub. Jill, one of our VIP clients, she's in the family business space. Who else do we have on here? Pamela Pertiller is in the space where she's working with Christian women. Kim Smith, the papered chef. Lisa Swanson, she's in the emotional wholeness space. Who else do we have on live with us? Marilyn, she's in the leadership space. Maybe you have something where you know you have a skill set. Just write the skill set that you have in the chat. And you know it's time to bring that skill set in the online space. Does that make sense? You're actually ready to bring this skill set in such a way where you can stop. Did somebody say stop working all the time? Right? You don't have need for like a super big cumbersome team. Like some of these online gurus, they've got like 20 people on payroll. That's not what I'm here to cover today, friend. I'm here to show you how to actually blueprint your 7-figure online lifestyle brand, one that fits into your current lifestyle. It doesn't blow it up. Okay, does that sound good? All right, so there are a couple things I want to share with you as we're doing this challenge. It's the first time we've actually done this live where the main group is going to be on YouTube. So one of the things that will help you, well, let me ask you a question. Would you like the keys to be incredibly successful this week? Right? Would you like the keys on how you can actually get the most out of this for this week? Let me know one in the chat if you're like, I'm all in, okay? So one of the first things is we want to actually stay engaged. So one of the reasons I'm asking you to stay engaged in the chat, say 1 if yes, 2 if no, and comment on this YouTube stream right now is so that you'll stay engaged. I'm also going to play a little, what my friends like to call talk back church, right? How many of you have ever been in a church where the pastor's up there and they're like, did you get it? And you're like, say amen. And you're like, amen, right? Or maybe you're watching your favorite sports team and you're like, yeah, right? How many of you watched the PGA golf tournament yesterday, right? With that last shot, it like just hit the rim and it was like, he got it in, Xander Schauffele, right? So in that space, what we want to do is we want to stay engaged. So one of the things I want to do for you this week is I want to help you kind of unleash the excitement, the energy, the hope that you have for your brand. Like I said, I mentioned a couple of our VIPs. We've got Iris and Jill and Dave and Caleb and Lisa, Marilyn, Pam, Kim. We have people here, Melissa, and they're in that process of saying yes to their ideas and yes to their brands. And that's what I want to give to you this week. So first key, stay engaged in the chat. Give yourself permission to talk back, right? When I say this, go ahead and say that. Studies show us that you and I retain way more when we're in that space, when we share, when we talk, and when we engage. That's step number one. The second thing is I want to strongly encourage you, if you have not already, hop into our VIP lounge, right? We have a VIP group where we're doing concierge coaching. They get a whole dashboard with a bunch of templates. They get a fancy pants 17-page workbook, and they get an extra hour every day to just ask questions, right? Access. If you wanted to engage us for our one-on-one VIP day, you'd have to pay a minimum of $40,000. So why do I share that with you? Because when we put our VIP together for this challenge, we put a really sweet little price point on it so that nothing would keep you away from being able to access the coaching time, all of that. So go ahead and put one in the chat on YouTube, one. If you want to have more information on the VIP, we'll go ahead and make sure our team reaches out to you so that you can get access as well. Maybe we'll even drop the link in the chat, right? All right, one more thing I want to share with you. So if you would like to join us, we also have a private Facebook group specifically for this challenge. And that Facebook group is 100% free. All you have to do is sign up to register for the challenge, put your email and your texting number in, and then you'll get to join close to 200 other people who are going through this challenge and who are interacting together. So we would love to have you in that Facebook group as well. All right. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat. And then when I come back later, I'll go ahead and see how I can answer your chats inside of YouTube. Tag a friend, tell them, hey, your 7-figure wins are on the way, right? I shared this with a group the other day. Just say, my wins are on the way, right? My wins are on the way. All right. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an idea for an online business and not known where to start? Maybe you're like, you got inundated with ideas. You're like, well, I could start a course. I could do this. I could do that. I could start an Instagram channel. I could start a YouTube channel. I could do all of these things, right? But you don't actually quite know where to start. And then maybe like me, or like I was, you go and you start to research online and you're like, holy flip. What do I do? It's like that scene from like Batman and Robin. It's like, we got the POW sign and the this, and you're like, where do I even start? Right? Have you ever been in that place and you're like, there's so much going on here. I don't even know where to start. One person says high ticket. The other person says low ticket. One person says Facebook is dead. The other one's like, Facebook is where it's at. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? You're like, who do I listen to? And what do I actually do? Well, over the course of this challenge, this next 5 days together, I'm going to show you how, let me know if you want to know how, to actually blueprint your brand. Do you guys know what a blueprint is? So when you build a custom home, you blueprint out everything that's going to happen so that you can stay on course, right? Have you ever watched a horse race? Did you guys watch the Kentucky Derby recently? And the horses that go into the paddocks before they get their blinders put on, right? So what we're going to do this week is I'm actually going to share with you the exact same system that I have personally used to blueprint 14 online lifestyle brands, some that have hit multiple 7 figures. Would that be okay with you? Right? So that by the end of the week, you're gonna, it's like, oh, okay, I can just take a deep breath, right? Wouldn't it be nice to just like not turn your computer on or not pick up your phone in the morning and have that stress? Like, I don't know what to do. Do I have to like dance on TikTok? Do I have to be a social media influencer? None of that, friend. None of that. Okay. So somebody just write good news in the chat, right? We're going after good news. All right. So like I said, if you haven't heard of me before, that's cool. I've just been building stuff, right? I'm actually standing in one of the properties that's part of our real estate brand, which is kind of fun to do the challenge from this. This is one of our investment properties. And it's kind of nice to just have like a physical testimony, right? So the brand, the real estate brand is a multiple 7-figure brand. Pretty cool, right? But at one point it didn't exist. Okay. At one point, the brand didn't exist. All I had was an idea. Okay. So write idea in the chat if you've ever had an idea. Right. Now, I have built lifestyle brands in interior design, decorating, holiday decor, meditations, health, consulting, coaching, mentoring, real estate, and more. Some don't even have my face attached. Right. Some are what we call template brands. So would you like to know how to do that? Let me know. All right. One in the chat. All right. So how is this going to unfold? Today, I have one goal for you. I wanted to, well, actually, let me ask you a specific question. Would you like to know what the biggest lever is when we're blueprinting out successful brands, right? What's the biggest, have you ever asked that question? Like, what is the actual biggest lever that we need to get a hold of in order to do this effectively, right? Have you ever seen those big cranes and they've just got that one little hook and they lift a really big truck or they lift a really big rock or something, and there's a counterweight on the other side that helps move the lever. Do you know what I'm talking about, right? Russell Brunson calls what we're going to unpack today the linchpin. Have you ever towed like a trailer? Maybe you've towed a boat, or maybe you've towed like ski-doos, right? Jet skis, stuff like that. And when you connect the two things together, there's a little pin that goes in there and it holds everything together. So would you like to know what that little pin is? That little, Russell calls it a linchpin, this thing that holds stuff together. I call it a lever. What's the biggest lever that you and I can get a hold of so that 5 days from now, you and I have a blueprint for a solid 5, 6, or 7-figure brand, whatever your goal is, whatever your belief is for yourself, that you will actually work in the online market space, right? Would you like to know what that is? All right. I'm going to tell a quick story to illustrate this. All right. Have you ever had an idea? Have you ever had an idea for something and you're like, oh, that's a good idea, right? And you write it down and you kind of think about it and you like think about it and you think about it and maybe you share it with a best friend or maybe you share it with somebody else and you're like, but all of a sudden you get kind of locked up and frozen because you're like, oh, I can't share that idea because somebody's going to steal it from me. You're like, so you got this amazing idea. What's that scene from The Grinch, right? Solve world hunger, tell no one, right? Obscure movie references. So have you ever had an idea, like you've got this amazing idea, maybe you're going to change this industry, you're going to bring something new to the design market or family business like Jill or Lisa Swanson for emotional wholeness, and maybe Caleb, right? You're bringing something new to the ham radio space and you're like, got this amazing idea, but you're holed up like the Grinch and you're like, tell no one, right? Because you're trying to self-protect. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So would you like to know a time when I self-protected so much that I missed out on an opportunity? Okay. So back in the day, I had an interior design business. Now, You know how you've got like a business or an idea or a job? You're in your job or your business right now. And you know how sometimes you get ideas that just come to you, like Iris, you're at work and you get an idea for something. Dave and Melissa, you're working on something for the Power Couple Hub and you get an idea for something. And you take that idea and you're like, oh, I think that's probably pretty good. But then you get kind of the freeze up. Has that ever happened to you? Like I got into total freeze mode and I was afraid to take the next step and birth my idea. So what did I do? I had this amazing idea, was ahead of the market. And all of a sudden I'm like, talk to my warehouse manager about it. He's like, that's a good idea. I talked to my website guy about it. He's like, that's a good idea. I talked to my developer friend about it. That's a good idea. I even talked to my trademark attorney about it. That's a good idea. And then, now, maybe this has never happened to you before. Then I came up to a point of decision. Okay, somebody say point of decision. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of a big deal. This could be a really amazing idea, but I've never been there before. I've never done something like that before. And so I got up to this decision line, this line right here. And all of a sudden I was going to have to put money on the line, like real money. Like at the time, I think I had to put like $10,000 or $15,000. And I'm like, oh, right. And then I was going to have to get more people involved. And I was like, oh, right. So I took my little decorator identity and I slunk back to my day job. And I did nothing with my idea. Have you ever had a situation like that? I did nothing with, I shrunk, right? I got real small. And I was like, no, that's not me. I can't do that. I'm not like that. That's not who I am. Like that. Within 5 years, somebody else had taken that exact same idea that had been floating around, right, in the universe, in the ether, or the air, whatever you want to call it, downloaded from heaven, downloaded from God. And the person who took that idea sold it, not for like 5 million, not for like 10 million, not for 100 million. They sold it for $2.1 billion. Can somebody say, oh, snap? I'm like, they even use the same name. I was like, ah. So what's the moral of the story? Okay. Well, somewhere there's $1 billion waiting for me, right? But the moral of the story, friend, is I didn't have enough identity to bring that idea into the marketplace. I was too afraid to step over the line of thinking of myself as worthy to bring that idea and step into the unknown, right? I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the identity. I didn't have the self-belief. So if you have ever been in that place where you get these downloads from heaven, these ideas, and you're afraid to step over the line, you're in the right place. Because this week, I want to give to you concrete, actionable tools to step into your next level so that you can take that idea that you've got for your online business, that idea that you've got for that brand, and not just let it sit in obscurity in a file somewhere or a journal somewhere or in a conversation where you went out with your friends and you had coffee, or you went out to a little cocktail party and you were having conversations and you never did anything with that idea, right? So I'm here this week to give you some good news, right? So if you are ready for some good news and to help overcome those identity shifts necessary, that's what we're doing this week. Does anybody want to say good news? Like, just write good news in the chat. Like, let's go ahead and do this. So what happened? What happened, and what's the big lever? I want you to write this in the chat. Identity is the big lever, right? Now, there are a couple keys to help us practice this new identity. And with your permission, I'd like to unpack 3 of those keys for you right now on day 1 of our challenge. Because tomorrow, the next day, and for the next 4 days after, you and I are actually going to take out some templates and we're going to blueprint your idea. Does that sound cool? Like, this isn't just a kind of a feel good, like high five type thing. Like, I love Tony Robbins and I want to unleash the power within you, right? I want to unleash that energy for you. But I also want you to have something concrete, right? Concrete that you can take away so that you know what to do next with your up-leveled identity. Does that sound cool? All right. Before I step into that, a couple of housekeeping things. 1, make sure you're signed up for VIP. The last time we did this challenge, one of our clients, Angelina, she just said this was the best challenge, the best VIP that she'd ever been to. And it's this place where we've actually created a dashboard for you where you can download templates, get all the recordings, all the goodies. We even have some bonuses in there. So it's kind of like a free membership. That's the first thing. The second thing is, at the end of the challenge, I am going to make an opportunity available for you to work with us further. If you would like information on that, I'll be sharing it probably on Wednesday with our VIPs and then Thursday and Friday with the larger group with the YouTube stream. So it will be perfect for some of you. It will be absolutely the thing that you have been praying for, right? Emily recently joined us and she's like, this changed the game for me. And she had results almost immediately. We'll play some testimonies for you after the session so you can hear and see some real clients. For some of you, you're going to be like, nope, and I got everything I need. I'm all good. It's no big for me either way. We're here. Like I said, we got investment properties, we got businesses and brands, but my heart is to help you not get stuck in that trap where I was, where I missed out on a major opportunity because I didn't have the identity to step into the next level. All right. Okay. Give me a 1, a yes, an amen in the chat. Tag a friend that you know would be blessed and encouraged to be part of this. All right. So, Anne, what are some keys to this up-leveled identity? All right. Well, first key. Do you know that the mind, when you and I think in a positive way, it's actually healthier for our brain than if we think in a negative way. So I want you to write the first key down. I want you to bend towards the positive, not towards the negative. Okay, just write that first key down. The first key is bent towards the positive, not towards the negative. All right, first key. What do you mean, Anne? Well, have you ever been in a place where you're like, you have discernment, right? You're like, I don't know, doesn't pass the sniff test, something, no, right? So let's go back to my app opportunity there that sold for $2.1 billion. And I was still working out of my garage studio. So when I first had the opportunity, I was introduced to all these people based on the fidelity, if you will, of the idea. But every time I came into a room where I had never been before, proverbial, I was like, my hackles would go up. I'd be like, this doesn't feel safe, right? Have you ever been in that place? Have you ever like, I don't know, it doesn't feel safe. Well, my feelings were actually lying to me in that instance. Why? Because I'd never been there before. All right. Let me give you another example. Have you ever ridden a roller coaster? Like, do you like roller coasters? You know, put your hands up. I love to go fast on roller coasters. I love to ski fast. I like going fast. It's just fun for me. But my mom, she did not like roller coasters. And if you think of new opportunities, kind of like a really safe, but fun roller coaster, right? So 2 people can go on the exact same ride on a roller coaster. You're both totally safe. You are locked in. It's all good. And one person is like, this is awesome. Like they're having the time of their life. Their hands are up. They're going, woohoo, right? Because they know it's a safe ride. The other person comes off the exact same ride and they're like traumatized. They're like, never again, blah. And even though it's the same roller coaster, you have two different experiences. One in the chat, if you're understanding the point I'm illustrating, because this is an important point for your up-leveled identity. All right. Discomfort in new situations, in new things, is totally normal, right? And when you and I have been in situations before and we see things happening that can be kind of like the roller coaster, we're like, oh, it's cool. I've been here before. That just means this, or that just means that. Versus someone who's never been there before and they're freaking out over every twist and turn. Well, one of the reasons I want to help you blueprint your online brand is that I've been on the rides before, friend. I know like some of the pitfalls, right? I don't know all of them because I've never built $1 billion brand, right? I've never built even $100 million brand, but I have built other brands that have hit multiple seven figures, right? So I know some of the twists and turns as we're blueprinting these out. And you may come up to the line, you're like, I can't do that. That doesn't feel right. I'm like, no. This is just what that means. It's all good. So with your permission, I just want to take you by the hand this week and walk you through this blueprinting process. But today is all about the main lever. What's the main lever? We have to actually up-level our identity so that we can learn how to blueprint our brands as if we've been here before, even if you haven't. That's why I want to walk you through this process. One in the chat if that's making sense. Let me know one in the chat if that's making sense. I'll check the chat for a second. I'm going to get a quick cup of coffee. And all right, we're good. All right, very good. All right, what are some of your ahas so far? Right, I'm live with you here, friend, on YouTube. So what are some of your ahas right now, right? What are you excited about? What are you excited about learning? What are you excited about learning how to blueprint a 7-figure brand? Maybe you just want a 5-figure brand. You know, when I got started, that's all I was after, right? So what's the first key to up-leveling our identity? It's having a positive bent. The roller coasters, it's going to be okay. All right. The roller coasters, going to be okay. We want to have a healthy, positive mindset. It's going to help us up-level our identity. The second piece, and this is a fun one, is I want you to take an opportunity to believe that your idea is good. All right. Just write that in the chat. I'm going to believe that my idea is good. Now, here's the truth. Your idea may stink. Okay. Yeah. Can I just tell you, I've had a couple of stunkers. All right. I had some bad ideas. However, I have learned things in the process of practicing with ideas, no matter how random they seem. Right. So I want you to choose to believe that there's merit and value in your idea. Okay. And the process is not a get it right, get it wrong process. The process is one where you and I are going to kind of test. I use this phrase, just write this phrase in the chat. This may be brand new to you. I don't know anybody else who uses this phrase, but I'm going to share it with you. I'm always looking for what we call niche fidelity. Write that in the chat. Give me attribution on that one. I don't think anybody else uses that. I'm always looking for niche fidelity, right? Is this going to be a good long-term fun thing to build? So if you are in that space and you're like, Ann, I got ideas a dime a dozen, a mile a minute. I want you to pick one idea to work with for your online brand this week. And I want you to choose to believe. Just say this with me. I choose to believe. I choose to believe that my idea is good. And like I said, it may totally stink. Okay. You may have a terrible idea, but we're going to choose to start off with that positive mindset and with, well, choosing to believe that there's something of merit we're going to get out of that idea, even if it's terrible. Is that cool? All right. Okay. Now, what's the third key to really up-leveling our identity? There is a saying, I don't know who first said it. So if you know the attribution on this quote, please let me know in the YouTube chat. That people with a wealthy mindset, just say this with me, a wealthy mindset make decisions quickly and change their minds slowly. All right. So somebody, if you know the original origin of that thought process, I think it might be the gentleman who wrote the book Oversubscribed. I'm not sure. So the whole process of just say, I'm going to up-level my identity this week. I'm going to make decisions from identity, not from information. Identity, just say this with me. I'm going to make decisions from identity, not from information. Because information, we're always getting new information, right? Right? We're always getting new information. If I had enough identity, I could have known what to do with the information when I had the idea for the home decor app. I mean, I had the whole thing mapped out, friends, and I did nothing with it. Somebody else took the exact same idea, sold it for 2.1 billion. Okay. This was well over a decade ago. Might have been even more. All right. So identity knows how to leverage the information, right? But if we don't get the identity of someone who is going to bring this thing into the online space, it's why we're going to blueprint together. Because can you imagine how much more solid your identity would feel if you got on Friday and you're like, hey, I've got a blueprint. I know what to do. I know what to do next, right? That's why we're doing this challenge. All right. So what are some of the keys to up-leveling your identity, friend? What are they? Write them in the chat. See if you can remember. What's the first one? The first one, we want to bend towards the positive, not towards the negative, right? We want to bend towards the positive. We want to get on that same roller coaster, put our hands up and be like, that was amazing, right? We want to embrace that energy. We don't want to be the one who gets off the roller coaster is like, I hate you, I'm never talking to you again, blah, 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 right? Okay, same roller coaster, friend. Same ride. Two totally different viewpoints. Okay. So the first one, and if you are like, let me just put it this way. I am not I'm not going to tell you that this is for everybody. Okay. Not everyone is designed to be an entrepreneur, right? Not everybody is designed to be an entrepreneur. Okay. But if you are designed to be an entrepreneur and you have been surrounded by turkeys who are like gobble, 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 gobbling down your dreams and, like questioning everything that God put in you, when you are literally called by God to bring ideas into the earth realm, if you will, if you are in that space, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Because if God has given an idea to you, no matter what lifestyle season you're in, you got grands, you got littles, you got stuff going on, you don't got stuff going on. Whatever season you're in, God gave you the idea, right? So I'm not going to let you off the hook. Why am I passionate about that? Because for the longest time, like there was a season in my life, I wouldn't even finish my sentences. I didn't feel worthy to even have an opinion. And so I just want to break that. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I just want to break any of that self-doubt and that self-degradation off of you. If God gave you the idea, he also thinks that you're the person to bring it into the marketplace. So let's not abandon those ideas. Let's get on that roller coaster of like, okay, we're going to do this. This is all new territory, right? It's kind of like that danger Will Robinson thing, right? Like danger, 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 right? But what we want to do is we want to have fun in this process. So the first thing to up-level your identity, just say, I can do this. Say, I can do this, right? The Bible puts it this way. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? You don't have to believe the Bible to be here, but like I'll use these literary references, these amazing words, these poems, these phrases, all of these things to help and encourage you. Okay. So the first thing, we want to get our identity into a place where I can do this. How do we do this? There are 3 things I want you to take away from today. 3 really simple core things I want to make sure you take away. The first is we want to bend towards the positive. Say this with me. I will bend towards the positive. Okay. And when I start to see myself go into that like grumbling, right? Grumbling and I'm crumbling, right? We don't want to be grumbling, right? Say no, crumbling, right? We're going to remember, even if we're on a roller coaster ride, we're going to be like, it's okay. It's okay. Anne's been here before. It's okay. All right. That's the first thing. Right. What's the second thing? Do you remember what the second thing is? Right? What's the second thing? 3 different things that we actually need to unpack to really help seal our identity. Tell me about your idea. Is it good or is it bad? Tell me about your idea. Okay? Your idea might be bad, but even if your idea is bad, we're going to approach it like there's something good in it. Right? There's something good that we're going to pull out of bringing this idea into the online space. Right? How many of you are piano players or musicians? Right? I grew up in a house, we had a concert grand in the living room and we had an upright in the living room. It was a big musical family. And I played the piano and the violin. Can I tell you, what did I sound like when I first started playing the violin? It's pretty bad, right? Pretty bad. So in the same way, your first ideas for the online space may be pretty bad. However, even in the practice, we're going to choose to believe that there's a symphony wrapped up in that. Is that cool? Can you guys just write symphony, write symphony in the chat. You don't have to spell it right. But it's the positioning of your heart, right? Let's take our heart. Stop your heart, right? I'm going to take a heart posture that my idea is good. There's something in it for me that is a noble piece of my next season. Okay. All right. That's the second thing, that your idea is good. The third thing is we're going to practice making decisions quickly. Now, how many of you, maybe yourself or you're married to somebody or somebody in your life is like, that's not prudent, right? Okay. Well, there's prudent and there's wisdom, but there's also do it now, right? How many of you have ever heard that phrase, do it now? Right? W. Clement Stone, are you familiar with W. Clement Stone? Napoleon Hill, are you familiar with Napoleon Hill? He wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. Great book. If you haven't read it, get it on Audible. Not everything's perfect about it, but it's a really good place to get our mindset started, right? Because without identity, which is the big lever today, even in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he had to step into a new identity in order to execute on his idea. And that's what I want to empower you to do, right? As you, to build a brand in the online space that doesn't blow up your lifestyle, doesn't blow up your life, doesn't take a big team. Okay. Is that okay? Can we have some fun with that? So in that space, what we want to do is we actually want to learn. First key, we're going to bend positive. Second key, we're going to believe that our idea is good. P.S. Even if it stinks. Why? Because we're moving. We're taking action, right? We're actually beginning to implement these things. And we're practicing implementing ideas. We're practicing blueprinting out our ideas. Okay. And then the third thing is we want to learn to make decisions quickly. Right. Now, these are not like life-altering decisions that we're going to make this week. I mean, they could be in a really good way. But I want you to practice making decisions. Just snap your fingers with me. Yeah, former cheerleader. It's all good. I'm not for everybody, but I am for some. You're going to snap your fingers. Right? I'm the youngest of 5 kids. It's like, were you ever left at school and somebody just forgot you? Maybe they couldn't even remember your name. Like your parents go through everybody else's name before they finally get to you. They're like, which kid are you, Jim? Oh, you're Ann, right? Okay. A little humor for something. So in this space, we're going to practice making decisions quickly. Okay. Because all we're going to do this week, friend, is we're going to blueprint out your 7-figure lifestyle brand in the online space. That's my goal for you. So today, your one takeaway, and I'd love to have your comments. I'd love to make sure you hop over into the VIP. Your one takeaway for today, friends, is this. Well, first, get in the VIP room. We're doing concierge coaching. And like I said, like our VIP days, like our consulting days, it's $40,000. Okay. So we consult with like companies on the stock exchange. We consult with people who've sold their companies for multiple hundreds of millions of dollars, helping them learn how to leverage this online space. So let's go ahead and take advantage of this right now. Okay. Go ahead and get in, hop in the room. Yeah. So we'll drop the link somewhere. So in this space, right, we want to make sure that you and I are making decisions this week from a place of identity, right, up here, not from information. Let's go back to the app story for a minute. Think about that idea you had, friend, that somebody else implemented and is making money with right now. All right. Think about that idea that you had. Pam, Kim, Iris, Dave, Caleb, Jill, Marilyn, Melissa. Think about that idea that you had and somebody else made money with it. And think about, was it really the information that kept you from executing that identity, executing on that idea? Because I'd like to posit that it wasn't the information. It was the identity of the person with the information. Okay? It was the identity. How do you and I think of ourselves? Pam, how do we think of ourselves? Kim, how do we think of ourselves? The Bible puts it this way: as a man thinketh, so is he. As a woman thinketh, so is she. So if I had thought of myself as someone who could really and truly bring a billion-dollar app to the marketplace, I would have stepped over all of those roller coaster moments with ease. But instead, those roller coaster moments caused me to shrink back, right? And that's what I want to help you like break off this week. Okay. So today, the one core lever to build your 7-figure blueprint for your, if you want to go to 5 figures, that's totally cool. We can blueprint 5 figures, 6 figures, multiple 7 figures. But in order to do that, you and I are going to have to step into an identity. How are we going to do that? We're going to snap. We're going to bend positive. Say this with me. I'm going to bend positive. I'm going to choose to believe this week that my idea that I'm practicing with is good, even if it's not. Okay. Even if it shows itself to be like kind of stunker thunker. Okay. We're going to choose to believe our idea is good. And third, we're going to practice making decisions quickly. All right. So give yourselves a round of applause for being on day 1. I just want to say welcome. Again, Ann McDonald, we're going to be on live tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. as well. If you want to get into the Facebook group, let's make sure you get into the Facebook group. We'll drop the link so that you can sign up and get in for that. That's totally free. for this challenge. And then also, if you want to be in the VIP room where we are dropping fire, you get a membership dashboard. We'll make sure and drop that link in as well. And tag, here's my challenge. Can I ask something of you? So maybe like I do, you have friends that they're idea people. And idea people, right? We can be really high and really low sometimes. So maybe you have a friend that's coming to your mind right now and you're like, this friend could use this week. Okay. So tag a friend, share this with them. Get in the room, do this together, grab a cup of coffee, like go to a coffee shop and watch it, whatever it is that you need to do to encourage each other. Because right now out there, there's a lot going on. And my heart is to be able to bring to you some good news, right? We jokingly call it like, there was an old TV show, I don't know, it was called like the Good News Cruise, or maybe it was a Bible camp or something like that. But if you could use some good news, and if you could choose to be reminded that God did in fact say yes to you, he's like, yeah, I gave you the idea. I gave you the idea, Pam. I wanted to give you the idea. And the thing is, ideas come in seed form. So let's go ahead and use this week to encourage these seeds to grow into real things. So that's it for today, friends. We'll go ahead and we'll see you tomorrow. Let's have more people on the YouTube, more people on the chat, and more people in the challenge so that you can bring the things that God designed you to bring into the earth in this season, this era, this realm. Well, to do it prosperingly. All right. Let's have a good day. Bye.
And you are an amazing teacher.
Thank you.
You're an amazing mentor. I've been in so many different masterminds. Your coaching is, like here, like it's, one of the best. And I would tell anyone that this is truly transformational. So your mindset, figuring out your business, figuring out your brand, figuring out the messaging, the transformation that you deliver here is one of a kind. And, the way that you teach is just so amazing. I can't even express, all the gratitude that I have for, this experience. This is an amazing community. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the experience.
Patrick and Anna have been an incredible resource and mentors for me with regards to my online business. I highly recommend working with them. They continually demonstrate a high level of knowledge, skill set, tactics, strategies, and the thing I really like is they really personalize my business. And sometimes we have to make some adjustments or pivot if something's not working, but they always have something in mind to help me advance or succeed to the next level. But one of the biggest reasons I really enjoy working with them is that they're so invested in my business and so supportive of anything I go through with regards to successes or if something doesn't work out. No matter what happens, I always know they'll be in my corner, and anytime I do have success, they're such a big cheerleader for me, and they're always there to help me in any way possible. I couldn't ask for better support, and I really couldn't ask for a more knowledgeable and more resourceful set of mentors. I highly recommend working with them, and you will not be disappointed.
My passion is to build family businesses, family lifestyle businesses. 3 generations ago, my family had a thriving hotel chain, and it was across the entire Middle West. And it was dismantled in the last generation. And so I have a passion for the things that I believe we as families are designed for. So my personal goal is to help 10,000 lifestyle entrepreneurs make their first or their next $1 million using online courses. And so anything that I can do to help facilitate that.
Your passion, both you and your hubby, your passion for sincerely helping people play bigger and giving them the actual tools to do it. Like there's some people that talk about it, but you guys have repeatedly done it, and your passion to help people step into that just radiates.
We can
Love
have
you,
fun.
Anne.
I love you too.
Natalia.
I just want to share my takeaway. I mean, I really like your DNA system because it feels like you are you're becoming, by creating the DNA system, you're becoming a guide or a transformer to your clients, right? In terms of where do they want to be. So they're here now, and the DNA system that you're building, you will be guiding your client to that future of where or who they want to be. And I think, like, to me, that was very powerful.
Thank you. Yes.
The life she wants to live. And I asked her to give you the essence of her genius in this session. So will you please welcome Anne McDonald?
Hey folks, how's it going? Emily here, making progress, and also learn all this awesome stuff that Anne is sharing with us, because I can see that this is the future. So I'm super excited, just giving everybody a shout out, because I'm just so inspired by all the awesome work and transformation I'm seeing everybody doing, and how amazing, what Anne and Patrick have done and what they've created, and how awesome that workshop was. I've been enjoying every second of it, and get out of this hustle and grind mode and into this amazingly beautiful future that Anne has outlined for us. So just a shout out today, guys. Keep up great work, and I'm super excited to be here and part of the team. Take
Anne and Patrick, first of all, for trusting me. Yeah, and what I love about you, Anne, is you are a trusting person. And look, I've been in business, Stacey and I, my wife and I have been in business for over 30 years, and we can spell stuck in 14 different languages. But we choose to trust anyway. You ever heard of a guy named Bob Goff? He said, love always. And this is what these two people do. Anne and Patrick, they love always. They are the hands and feet of Jesus. And I love what you guys are showing up, and what you guys have done here and brought these people together is just so impressive. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you. Last night was so good. It was the first time in probably 30 years I didn't have to buy dinner.
There's a good one. All right, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. We're mastering media. Say hello.
I can do it all, but like, should I do it all?
No.
And so that was like resonating with me, because I'm like, you've been coaching me on this for years to like,
I have.
charge more and all that stuff. I'm having little breakthroughs, little by little. So it's encouraging what she said. It's like, well, you could be on the next level. It's like, okay, good. I'm here. I'm getting there. I'm charging more.
These breakthroughs are like compound interest, right? All of a sudden you wake up and you're like, well, the breakthrough didn't feel very big, but all of a sudden you've made a quantum leap in your business and in how you approach it. So I'm glad that spoke to you.
So you're the one that encouraged me. You're like, do you have any high ticket offers? This was several months ago. And I was like, and you're like, what's the biggest thing that you charge? And I was like, oh, like $99 at the time, whatever it was. And so I did, and I didn't really know what to offer. So I did a yearly membership for my card club. and it was around like Black Friday time, and it was $444 for a year, which is exciting for my card. So I'm getting there, but even that was like so scary. I'm like, no one's gonna want to pay this, and they did. And they did.
Hi there. My name is Judy Kaler, and I would love to share with you the breakthrough that I got from the challenge with Ann and Patrick McDonald. And it's very simple, but it has been so profound to me. Major breakthrough for me. So I encourage you to take the challenge with Ann and Patrick McDonald. It is well worth your time.